Domo arigato, Mr. Legato. That's right. Today we're talking about legato for our lead guitar solos. Legato sounds awesome. It's a really easy technique to start applying and to just sound fast in the middle of your solos. Practicing things with every note being picked is a lot of work, and that takes years and years to get it clean, lots of metronome practice. Whereas today, we're going to start sounding fast right out of the gate once we've got these little shapes down memorized. So it's kind of cheating, you know, and eventually you should probably learn to pick everything we're doing here today, but, you know, no harm in having some fun and just playing fast. So here's all we have to do. We have to learn 3 very tiny shapes. My first shape is going to be like this, all right? And it doesn't matter where I start. It matters the distances between my fingers. So once I'm done teaching you this, I want you to practice it everywhere, okay? Practice it high, low, I don't care where. Today, we're on the 5th fret. I've got my first finger on 5. I'm going to pick that note, and then I'm going to hammer on my ring finger, and then I'm going to hammer on my pinky. All right, so that was just 1 pick stroke there, and then 2 hammers. Then I'll repeat it. Pick, hammer, hammer. Pick, hammer, hammer, pick, hammer, hammer, like that, all right? And this is what you're practicing, all right? Every single day for a few minutes, trying to speed this up, trying to get fast at it. Notice that my first finger just stays there, okay? It doesn't have to lift off at all. It can just chill, all right? And that saves me the effort of having to pick it up. Now, I will note that when you go really fast, I don't know, for me personally, my first finger has a tendency to rock just a little bit. Just pick up just a little bit to kind of allow the other fingers to get the speed in there. But just be aware of that, all right? Now that you've got that figured out, all right, that's what you're practicing. And once you're comfortable with it, I want you to start switching strings with it, all right? So right on the 2nd string, on the 3rd string, 4th, and so on and so on, all right? And it's great exercise. Maybe do it 4 times on each string and then switch strings. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then do it in reverse order. Start at the bottom. This time I'll just do it twice on each string. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, like that, all right? That sounds great. Now, we've taken the same shape, though, and we're going to do it in reverse order, all right? So we're going to start with all of our fingers in place, and instead of hammering on all those notes, we'll just pull off every note. So my fingers are lined up. They're all on their own fret. I'm going to pick the pinky, and then I pull off the pinky, and then I pull off the ring finger, okay? I'll start over again. Pick, pull off, pick, pull off, there. You get the idea. All right, and that's what I'm doing right there. It's just practicing that. When I'm done with that, I'm going to try switching to the 2nd string, doing the same thing, 4 times on each string, or 2 or 1, whatever you want to do. All right, millions of ways to practice this. And really quick, I mean, that's what this lesson's about, is finding simple things that you can practice in a lot of different permutations, and you can get a lot of bang for your buck that way. So we've done this shape now. That was our first finger and our ring finger and our pinky. The other one you have to practice in order to string together all your major scales and everything is with your first finger, your middle finger, and your pinky, like this. All right? So we'll do the same practice on each string with those 3 fingers instead. We'll do it with pull-offs as well. Okay, and then the last shape you're going to practice is this one. It's going to be 5, 7, and 9. All right, and the way I'm doing that is with my middle finger on 7. It's a very big jump. It's not that comfortable, but you do want to be practicing that. You should also practice it with your ring finger, and you might be tempted to do it that way first, but I would recommend the harder method with your middle finger. It gets your hand into a very good position. All right, so hammers, pull-offs. All right, stringing them together. Okay, now keep in mind, these might sound like scales, but they're not. These are not complete scales. They're just kind of messes of notes. And I've heard this in guitar solos. I know Randy Rhoads used to do this kind of thing a lot. I've heard it in, you know, Dream Theater solos where you just do what's fast, and it doesn't really necessarily matter if it's in a key. I'm warning you that's a rare thing to do. It's not something you want to rely on, just saying, oh, I'll play fast notes. I don't care what key they're in. But there's a time and a place for that. And this is a great, you know, technique to start using when you want to do something like that. All right, so we've got the 3 shapes that we need, and now we can string together those 3 shapes to start playing entire scales. I did do a video on 1-string scales that you should probably recap on. I believe I talked about major and minor on that. But the idea is I'll take these shapes and I'll string them together and I'll perform that move on each one. So if I wanted to be an A minor or C major, same thing, it really doesn't matter for our purposes here. I'll start on 5 and I'll do my hammer-ons. Okay, and if I'm in A minor, I could just move up to the next note of the A minor scale, which was this note. I'll put my finger there, and then I'm going to do this shape. Look, the one with my middle finger. Now I'll move up to C, and I'll do the wide jumping shape. All right. Now I'll move up a whole step, and I'll do the shape that we started with. Okay, I'll move up a whole step. I'll do the 2nd shape with the middle finger. Then I'll move up a half step, and I'll do that big jump shape. And I'll do that again a whole step higher. And that takes me back to A here with my first finger. So if I put that together, here's what I get. All right, and I could do the same thing in the same position, but do it with pull-offs instead. So instead of hammering on everything, I'll start with my fingers lined up. All right, and then maybe instead of 4 times on each one, we just do twice on each one. Okay, and of course, obviously, do this with different scale shapes as well. Right now I'm pretending like I'm in the key of A minor, but you maybe want to practice starting on different tones, starting on different strings as well. And the only thing I want to comment here is that this isn't going to work. These shapes won't work if you start getting into like a scale like harmonic minor or pentatonic. Those scales have big jumps in between them, and the shapes that I've talked about here are really kind of unique to the major scales, minor scales, and all the modes of those scales. All right. So once you've got this technique down, hopefully you see you can add a lot of speed in, and the next step would be making sure that you can apply it at the right time. I'm thinking of these as triplets the entire time because they're 3-note patterns, but you could technically play them as 16th notes. That's going to be really difficult to count at that speed, so try to think of them as triplets or 16th note triplets. So when I'm playing this, I'm thinking 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1, 2, 3, 4. And my pick is just picking every beat, all right? Which is why it's so easy for your right hand. Even though it might sound like I'm shredding, doing something like that, my pick is just going bup, 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 bup. And then the 3 notes happen in between. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. All right. You can also think of them as sextuplets. Those are 16th note triplets. Those are hard to count. I count them personally as biddly diddly, biddly diddly, biddly diddly, biddly diddly. All right. But you would be able to fit 6 in a beat, or you could do that pull off twice in a beat. So if my tempo is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can see my pick is picking twice per beat. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and on every pick stroke, it's doing a pattern of 3. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so hopefully this gives you some cool ideas and something to practice. And really, I mean, you should be able to get hours and hours and hours of practice out of these simple little concepts by flipping them on their head, doing them backwards. Try adding in open strings. You know what I mean? What if you added in an open string to every one of these pull-off moves? So now it's a 4-note pattern instead of a 3-note pattern. So, be creative about it and see what happens. And keep in mind, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know below or get a hold of me on Twitter or Facebook. And thank you for subscribing, all those of you that have been watching these videos. I know it's a new channel, and I really, really appreciate everybody that's, given me feedback and comments so far. I will continue to be posting videos, and I will continue to change things up and try and do different things and change my audio and video setup, all this stuff. But I really do appreciate all of you that have stuck around this far. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I definitely appreciate it, and it certainly helps. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.